If you plan on changing your life for the better in 2024, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can do that. I'm standing on business for real, in real life, not just on social media like the rest of y'all. Hi, my name is Jamillah, and if this is your first time seeing my face, welcome to my Lifeasjamillah. Here on my channel, I talk about all things, really, all things beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and as of late, I've been feeling the need to use my platform for more positive things, and I feel like, a lot of young women in my generation need some guidance, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal or anything, but I do feel like I'm very socially aware, and I feel like I just want to help. I plan on changing my entire life in 2024. I'm talking financially, physically, my lifestyle, everything. So I'm going to share with you guys all the things I'm going to implement into my everyday life to prepare myself for 2024. I have a lot to say, I have a lot to discuss, and I feel like I'm the motivation that you need. No one is going to motivate you but me and yourself. So let's get into it. So I feel like the main way to change your life in general is to form healthier habits for yourself. And I know they can be a little challenging, but the way I like to think about it is each day is a fresh start. Each day is an opportunity to put your best foot forward and step into the highest version of yourself. I know a lot of people talk about the highest version of yourself, but what exactly does that really mean? For me, that means I know what I should be doing to see the results I'm looking for. I just don't do it. And I feel like a lot of us, that's our main issue. We know what to do, we just have trouble implementing it into our life. So today I've come up with 5 simple things that I feel like if you can master incorporating those things into your life, forming those healthy habits, I feel like your success would be inevitable. Number 1 on my list is showing up for myself / showing up as who I want to be. I am a Gemini, so I constantly have different personas, and when I wake up and just decide to pretend to be someone that I am inspired by or something, you may not know it, but you're aligning yourself with that version of yourself in the quantum field. I'm currently reading this book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Esponza, I think that's how you say it. And he talks about the quantum field and how there's versions of you that already exist in the quantum realm that already have the lifestyle that you want. It's more about aligning yourself to match that lifestyle. Of course, if there is a version of you that has everything you want, there's also a version of you that is a complete failure. So you're either going to do the things that align you and put you on track to be the ideal version of yourself, or you're going to stay in your old habits and you're going to align to be the failure. It really comes down to alignment. If you aspire to be a successful entrepreneur, you should be forming habits that align with the entrepreneurial lifestyle. There's no way you're going to become that entrepreneur that you seek to be if you're not taking the steps today to get there. How are you going to reach that goal? It's one thing to have a goal in mind, but the hard part is really acting on it. If you want to become that entrepreneur that you're seeking to be, what are you going to do? You're going to wake up early, you're going to have a business plan, you're going to budget, and you're going to make that shit come to life. Period. It's no ifs, ands, or buts, to be honest. Showing up for yourself also means doing what's best for you, even if you don't feel like it. For example, I'll give you guys a personal example. For me, I've recently gotten into taking supplements in my health and stuff like that. Even though sometimes it literally I don't look forward to waking up and popping 6 pills, I still do it just because I know it will help my body in the long run and it will help me feel better throughout the day. I feel like it's very important to do what's best for you even if you don't feel like it, because how will you ever see results? Even though going to the gym might be stressful and you're dreading it because you're putting your body through pain and you're sweating and it's uncomfortable, you will not grow if you're comfortable. The only way you will succeed in life is if you put yourself in uncomfortable situations and learn from them. And it can be difficult on your ego, but if you want to be better, you're gonna have to put yourself through the hard times and keep in mind your end goal. Every day is a fresh start for you to show up as the person that you want to be. And that's important. My whole thing is fake it till you make it. You may not be that successful entrepreneur or that millionaire right now, but if you pretend, eventually you'll get there. If you are doing the habits and taking the steps every morning and holding yourself accountable, your success will be inevitable. Trust me. Number 2, my favorite thing, self-care. And self-care is not just physical self-care. I'm talking mental and emotional self-care. All of those things are very important because, like, okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about physical self-care. When you look your best, you feel your best. When you feel your best, you're able to perform your best. And that's really important. I think a lot of people overlook this. But if you wake up and you look a mess, you're not going to be motivated to go out and get work done. That's just not how it works. Self-care is super important. Physical self-care is very important, as we all know. Go to the spa, get your nails done, because it's going to make you feel better in the long run and it's going to motivate you to do things. When my hair is not done, I don't want to go outside. When my nails is not done, I don't want to go outside. If I have my hair done, if I'm glowing, my outfits are put together, I'm feeling like the best version of myself, and that's who I'm going to show up as, period. Personally, my mental health is the most important out of all of these things for me. It's impossible to function at your best on a day-to-day basis if you have a lot going on mentally. If your mind is cluttered, if you have too much stuff going on, it's going to be hard for you to focus and get shit done. And that's the reality of it. If your mind is chaotic, your life is chaotic. I know a lot of you have heard that saying, your room is a reflection of your mental state. If your room is messy, it's usually because you're going through something mentally and you can't focus on that because you have something going on mentally. So take the time out to journal or meditate or do yoga. Take the time to be by yourself and literally quiet your mind so that you can focus. When you sit there in silence with yourself, you'll be surprised of the things that come up when you're just sitting there. Have weekly check-ins with yourself. Are you noticing anything that's not usual? Are you harboring any negative thoughts or feelings that may be affecting your energy, causing you to move a certain way towards other people? For example, if you're harboring a lot of sad and negative feelings, it's going to cause you to move that way in life. You're going to start treating people nasty. You're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start having negative self-talk. All of those things, that's not what we're doing in 2024. That's not going to change our life. That's going to keep us very stagnant. Also, in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, it talks about how the mind controls your body. If your mind is in a rut, your body is not going to be able to function. That means you can't focus on your goals. Everything you want is thrown out the window because all you can think about is whatever is making you sad or unhappy. Number 3 on my list, also super important. I say this after everyone, but they're all really important because I feel like these are the fundamental things that you need to implement into your life to really see change. So number 3 on the list is going to be discipline. Okay, and we all could use a little discipline. Me, myself, that's one of my New Year's resolutions for 2023 was to be more disciplined. And I can proudly say that I have seen results from being disciplined. I'll give you guys an example. I cut back on smoking. I used to smoke every day. I haven't smoked in a long time. The time I go to sleep and the time I wake up, I am now in bed every night by 11 p.m. and I wake up at 9 a.m. every day. And doing that alone, I've noticed so many benefits that have changed my life. It's ridiculous. So let's get into my main points of why I think discipline is one of the key factors of changing your life in 2024 for the better. This is literally on my vision board for this year, and that is that the highest form of self-love is discipline. Being disciplined is basically like making a promise to yourself. If you break that promise to yourself, how can you trust yourself? If you cannot trust yourself, you cannot trust anyone. And you guessed it, that leads to a lot of relationship problems. If you can't even keep a promise to yourself for your own good, what does that say about you? Like, that's very embarrassing. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. I often find myself asking, like, do you love yourself? If you loved yourself, you would do this because you know it's going to make you better. So if you cannot keep a promise to yourself, I'm concerned for you. Very concerned. That's a red flag. No shade. When you're disciplined, it shows that you're able to put in hard work and be consistent, and that is super attractive. As women, we often look for that in a man, but we can't even provide it for ourselves. That's a red flag. I'm holding y'all accountable. I'm holding myself accountable too. So don't just think I'm talking shit about y'all, because this is about us. We both got to do better. There's nothing wrong with being disciplined. There are only positive benefits. Like, I feel like people respect you more when you're disciplined because it shows that you are putting in that work. Do you want to be respected? Think about it like this. I'm going to give you guys a personal example. So I was in a relationship. I was in a toxic relationship not too long ago, actually. And every week I would literally tell my mom, like, oh yeah, we're over. I'm breaking up with him, never talking to him again. And literally the next day we would be back together. And that cycle continued for like, sadly, a couple years. And I feel like no one around me respected me. I feel like everyone didn't respect my word because I broke a promise to myself. After that, it kind of felt like no one respected anything I say because they just wouldn't believe that I could stand on business and hold my ground. So that taught me, when you say you're gonna do something, you better do it. And that discipline will earn you respect because people will notice it, trust me. Which smoothly transitions into number 4, which is holding yourself accountable. This year, I've been working on holding myself accountable very much because I'm like a self-soother. When something is wrong, I'm always quick to say, don't worry, you'll get them next time. You know, it's okay. And that's really just me trying to comfort my inner child. But in all reality, you need to hold yourself accountable or you'll never get anything done. If you want to get something done, it's your responsibility to make sure it gets done. Your parents aren't going to be in your ear making sure it gets done. Your friends aren't going to be in your ear making sure it gets done because it doesn't affect them. The only person it affects is you. So make sure you get shit done for you. You know where you want to be in the future. You know the kind of life you have envisioned for yourself. No one else does. So it's your responsibility to hold yourself accountable so you can accomplish your dreams for yourself. Period. I'm really chatting, like literally drop some light bulbs down in the comments because I feel like all of these are gems, and I feel like if you implement these into your life, you are guaranteed to see change. Like, it's inevitable. If you don't start holding yourself accountable today, you will literally just drift through life, and before you know it, you're going to be 60 years old wondering why you're still poor, living in a basement because you didn't hold yourself accountable when you said you wanted to be an entrepreneur. You didn't go to school. You didn't start a business. You didn't do anything. You drifted through life, brushed it under the rug, and said, oh, I'll do it another time. I'll do it another time. And now you're 60, 20 years away from your deathbed. And what did you accomplish in life? Nothing. All right, last but not least, number 5 on my list is delayed gratification. That just basically means holding out for better reward and not just doing something impulsively for like temporary satisfaction in the moment. Delayed gratification is another huge thing that I wanted to work on this year just because like I found myself living, just going with the flow and being in a moment a little too much. Like I would do things for a temporary feel good, then go home and wake up the next morning and feel like an absolute shitty person and a loser because I did something that I regretted. That's the worst feeling ever. Take it from me. Do not do that to yourself. It's literally the worst feeling ever. Resisting temptation and having self-control is really important. When you make impulsive decisions for temporary pleasure, you will regret it. Trust me. 9 times out of 10, you will regret it. Let me give you an example. Going back to the situation, my toxic relationship, I would like stand on business and stop talking to my ex and then just get lonely, and that would lead me to make impulsive decisions, and that would lead me to hanging out with him, seeing him, and doing things that I always regretted the next day. And I got so tired of that cycle that I had to break it. I did not feel good about myself when I did things like that. It really took a toll on me and it made me sad, and I had to change it. So I had to stand on business. And I know it's hard to be patient, but the reward is always better. Think about it like this. If I was patient and just waited to find my next person that I actually liked and was in a healthy relationship with, the reward would have been bigger. But I was so worried about temporary feelings that I didn't stand on business, and I was stuck in the same pattern. I wasn't able to put myself out there to find better things because I was stuck in the same pattern of the temporary happiness that I was getting from that person. When you're patient, it allows you to make better decisions, which would lead to better rewards. Before you do something, you need to always keep your future in mind. You need to be thinking about how this will affect me 3 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. I think we all need to be thinking a little more long term and not just doing something because we need to feel good for like an hour. because it's really not worth it at the end of the day, and you're setting yourself back from that reward. If you plan on being successful in life, every decision that you make matters. Every decision that you make is extremely important. But yeah, delayed gratification is super important just because you need to think about longevity. The more patient you are, the more time and effort you put into doing something, the better it will become. I'm not gonna lie, I started off 2023 on a really good note, but around like March, everything kind of went downhill for me. I started falling back into old patterns and old habits, and I just was not showing up as my best self. And things started to take a change for me around like October. I started getting back in flow. I started thinking long term. I started thinking about the woman that I want to be, the woman that I can be, and what she would be doing in the future, and how I can start implementing those things into my life so that I can align with her and live that life. It's currently December, and I feel like I'm ready to hit the ground running in 2024. Okay? Trust me, if you show up as your best self every day, if you are disciplined, if you have delayed gratification, if you focus on self-care, and if you hold yourself accountable, these 5 things I feel like everyone should be doing in order to live their best life. If you want to accomplish your goals, whether it be making more money, going to the gym, learning a new language, if you have big plans and big dreams for 2024, the best time to start is now. It can be a lot of pressure to do all these things at once in January. So if you break this down, if you break down these 5 things week by week, and you really lock in, you will be super ready for 2024. And trust me, your life will change for the better. We are going to be on this journey together because I've already implemented these things into my life. So now it's just your turn to do it. And as you all know, this is my life as Jamila, so you will be seeing my growth and my journey of forming healthy habits for myself and how I plan on changing my life in 2024 for the better. I hope this video resonated with you, and I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next one.